Yeah, I just started recording now.
Okay.
Uh, just see usual Santosh will join or not. He told that will be little delay, right? Let's check and then start.
Yes, yes. He is joining in a while. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah. I'll be in one more call. There is one more KT session going on. If anything needed, just let me know. Okay.
Sure, Gautam.
Sugam, you can start. No, no worry.
Okay, then, Sachin, we can start today's session.
All right, let me share my screen.
So today we'll be covering PGP key generation and management. Basically, means how the PGP keys are generated in Helven environment and how we do manage and housekeeping of for those key and how sharing is done with the user. Okay. And if the time is there, then we can proceed with go anywhere patching or EL creation. So it depends on the timing. So first we will cover the PGP key generation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, when we are talking about PGP key, so as you must be aware, it is used for encryption and decryption of the files. Correct. So in Helion, PGP keys is I guess there are a few other types of keys as well that are used for encryption and decryption. But in Helion, the one that is used as per the Helion's standards and process is the PGP keys, right? And the use of PGP keys for encryption and decryption comes in picture whenever there is any CSI data, critical and sensitive data.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, now for any activity related to PGP key lifecycle, so we have briefly classified it into three types. So one is the activity where we receive any expiry notification alerts for any expiring PGP keys. That is one activity. The other is where we are generating the PGP key pairs and sharing it to the users, or you can say owners, who have requested for the same. And third is basically when we are using it in our EL creation. So EL creation is a separate topic which we are keeping, and that will be discussed separately. So first we'll start with this notification emails that we are receiving for the PGP keys that are about to expire. So we have attached a sample emails. Let me just open one of those. So we receive an email something like this, where it says the following PGP keys are expiring soon. And this is for the prod environment, so it will highlight whether it's for prod or test or for dev. For dev, we won't receive anything because, as we have mentioned, we don't have any operational activities or any projects as such in dev environment, so we'll only receive for test and prod. So this is the alert email that we receive. And based on this, we have to inform the specific EL owner. And for that, we are maintaining a separate sheet. Let me open up that. Just give me a second. I'll stop my screen share for a while. Yeah, I am sharing my screen again. So this is the document where we have all the details that are being tracked related to the encryption link, and here is where we identify the point of contacts for the specific projects or the you can say key pairs. Okay, so this is the sheet where we are entering the details for the key pairs that we are generated, who are the owners, what is the start date, what is the expiry date, and etc.
Okay, so what action do we need to take if they are expiring?
So we identify the point of contacts from the sheet that I just now showed, and we have to communicate to the users. Now, the process that we are following, we are sending an email notification to the owners, to the key owners, and ideally we are following like three reminder emails. We can say like after 1 week, we are sending another reminder email. So we are sending three reminder emails to the key owners to ensure that these keys, if they are still required, uh, that those can be renewed again.
Okay, so do you have any specific template for that that you share with the like that the notification you send or like how it goes?
This is a general email that we send. There is no specific template as such for that. And I believe again that would be specific to what process you would be following, right? The process that TechM would be following. This is not like specific email that should be sent in a specific way. It's just a general notification email, you can say.
Okay, 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 yeah.
So again, so this is the documentation where we have mentioned the things. So what is the action to be taken? So check if the expiring keys are used. Check with the owners the email we are sending, and once the users confirm that yes, those are still required and they need another key pair, then yes, we need to create the key pairs again and share it to them. And alternatively, it can be like for the ELs, let us say for the inbound projects where we had discussed yesterday, where the files are transferred from vendors to Helion. So in those cases, what happens is the key pairs are created by the vendor side. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we would be having the public key only, and sorry, in the decryption project, in the outbound case, you can say. So in those cases where the key pairs are created by the vendor, right? So those need to be created by the vendor itself. Okay, and the public key needs to be shared to us, and we need to contact again. We need to contact the point of contact that we have mentioned in the our EL sheet. EL sheet is when I say EL sheet, it is the one that I showed just now. So that is the we refer to it as the EL sheet because all the details related to the encryption links and key management are stored in this sheet only. So
Yeah, so
whoever is the point of contact, yeah,
so
go ahead.
you maintain the sheet in some like SharePoint or how you guys maintain this sheet?
This is in the SharePoint itself. Yes.
Okay, okay. So that is you can share the link of this.
Yeah. So this would be handed over to you once like once the operations are done from Accenture side and we need to hand over. So this will be handed over.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, this is a sample email you can say that we are sending to the point of contacts.
Okay.
So
Like
you can
external,
refer to
is it for
this.
external or like other also?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
Yeah, is this for like point number two that you were saying about the external vendors that, or is this format is for everyone? Like,
So we are only contacting the Helion point of contact. So every time we are creating any PGP key pair, or you can say encryption link, we will
Mhm.
have a Helion point of contact, like a Helion employee, you can say, who will be our primary point of contact for all these details that we need for all this creation of PGP keys and encryption links. And we need to contact the Helion POC only. So if there is any need for the vendor interaction, so that has to be taken care by the Helion point of contact.
okay, okay.
So yeah, so once the public key has been provided, so in this case, as I've mentioned, so for encryption projects, so we have classified into two again: encryption projects and decryption projects. So encryption project is the outbound, where the files are transferred from Helion to any vendor. So those are encrypted in Helion and then sent out to the vendor. And decryption projects is the inbound one, where the files are encrypted by the vendor side, and then it is received by the Helion and decrypted at the Helion end. So when you're talking about encryption projects outbound, so a public key is the one that we are receiving from the vendor side. Okay, as you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, once the public key has been provided by the owner of that EL, we raise a self incident in ServiceNow and update the same in the project. And uh, before we update that new key in the Go Anywhere tool, we need to ensure that a date and time has been scheduled or fixed with the owner, so that both the private and public keys are replaced at the same time. Because from our end, in this case, the public key will be replaced, and on the vendor side, the private key will be upgraded or replaced, you can say. So both needs to be done at the same time. Otherwise, there will be the file transfer will fail, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Can
And
you
the
show
same,
in Go Anywhere tool like where do you update these things?
so if you go to encryption, there is this option
Mhm.
called as key management system. We have
Okay.
all the keys over here. So this is the PGP keys. The second option, CHCK's test PGP keys,
Mhm.
and the first one, key management. So both are PGP keys only. So what is the difference is that in the first one, in the first key vault, which is named as PGP key management, we are creating those keys which is for the activity of only key pair generation and sharing to the users. And in the second one, this is being used for EL activities, wherein the user has requested an encryption link to be created. So like it includes, like for example, both the activities, you can say we are creating the key pair as well, and the same is being used for the purpose of creating an EL encryption link.
Okay.
If you go to this PGP keys, you'll be able to see all the keys over here with all the details.
Mhm.
And this is where we replace. Basically, let's say this is the key that is about to expire, and we let it to expire. We don't delete it as such. And whatever new key we are receiving, that will be imported from here. If you click on
Yeah.
import keys, it will allow you to select the file and then import it.
Can we also see like from here like if it's expiring in some days or like that?
Yes,
Can
it is visible.
yeah.
So if you click
Okay.
on this gear icon and click on view, if you scroll down, it will show you expiration date. So this is going to expire on 27th, 2nd January, so say 11th Feb 27, 11th Feb 2027.
Okay. Okay.
So this
So
is the month,
you so you
DTMMYO.
now you have to send notification to the
Yeah,
owner.
we will send only when we receive these alerts. So we don't
Oh,
have to manually look into it as such. We will receive these alerts. 90 days, you can say, the initial email that we receive is 90 days
mhm.
before expiry. And then after that, we will receive it in regular intervals.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now we'll look into the activity where we are generating a key pair, right? If there's a request from a user to create a PGP key pair and share it to them. So how do we create a PGP key pair? So let me go back to the tool. So it was there in the snapshot. Just give me a second. Let me see if we have the snapshots over here. Okay, anyways, let me show it in the tool itself. So again, as I mentioned, so we will be creating this PGP keys from either one of these two vaults. If it is for EL creation, if it will be used in an EL, we will be creating it in this vault, second one. And if it is just for generating the key pairs and sharing it with the user, there is no need of any EL, then we'll be creating it in the first vault. So if you click on add key pair, I'll show you these fields. For the name, both the name and full name, it can be the same. Ideally, we will provide it basis on whatever the user has provided. User would be providing some details related to their use cases, right? So there would be some, let's say, some vendor name or anything that would be involved in that. So we'll use something like that, which will be identifiable.
Okay. So the name, these field would be provided by the user, right?
Yeah,
So
like they won't give tell you that create a key pair. Like sometimes they can tell you to create a key pair with specific name. So in that case, you can use the same. But in some cases, the users won't give you any name. They will just ask you that I need it for so and so vendor to communicate with so and so vendor. So you can use the vendor name over here so that it will be easier for you to identify later on, like
okay,
if this is related to which vendor and all that.
does it has any like naming convention?
No, there is no format as such that we are referring to.
Okay. Can you like show a ticket that you have received for this request?
We can, let me show you this EL sheet again, so which has all the names.
Like you must be receiving a service now ticket for this, no? To
Yeah,
add it.
so as I mentioned, right, so in some cases users would be providing us a specific names, and in that case we will use the same. In other cases where users are not providing, so we have to come up with something like which will be easier for us to identify later on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
these are the names of the, you can see these are all the names that are configured in this same key vault related to PGP key pair generation.
Okay, 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 fine.
Right. So just to give you an example, so in this case where we have mentioned test CH GSK to CTI. So GSK earlier it was GSK, right, before Helion. So these are in use since then. And in this case, as you can see, GSK to CT means the files are being transferred from uh, Helion to the vendor City. So in this case, it would be Citibank.
Okay,
So that is why it is we have put it in this way so that we will get to know whether the files are being sent from Helion to some vendor or from some vendor to Helion.
mhm, okay. I think Santosh sent a message that he might not be able to join this call,
Okay.
so
So no issues. Means
we can like keep this a little bit short this session so that Santosh will be on the same page. So let's try to perform like one or two topics only. Okay, if it is it
Yeah.
fine?
So we'll cover the PGP part today. So I
Yeah.
guess by 8:30 we should be able to cover it up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
And again, like as I mentioned, all the details are there in this document for reference. So you can definitely refer to it for in-depth details. All right. So
So, so
I'll join this.
what does it contain? This document? Can you just give?
So here we have all the activities related to PGP key pair. So PGP key expiry notification management. So the first part that we spoke about, where we are receiving the alerts for expiring keys. Second
Mhm.
part is where we are generating the key pairs and sharing it with the users. That is one
Okay.
activity. And third part is basically how do we create this PGP key pair.
Okay. Okay. It's the same thing that we
Yeah,
are
yeah,
discussing, right?
correct.
Okay.
So we have still not discussed about how do we share it. So I'll come to that later. So right now we're talking about how are we creating the PGP key pairs.
Mhm.
Right. So provide the name, provide the email ID where you would ideally want to receive the notification alerts. So this will obviously be your email box, common mailbox that would be having or any DL.
Okay, so like this email would be from of user or the admin.
No, admin, because
Okay,
we will need to receive these alerts, right? This is for our tool purpose.
okay, okay.
And then we will select the assigning key algorithm and encryption key algorithm. What will be RSA?
This is RSA 256 or 512 like
Key
so
size would be 2048,
512.
and
Okay,
signature digest algorithm will be SHA-512.
okay.
Again, this is mentioned over here. Let me show it to you.
So some user also like prefer to have a different algorithm or just we it's a mandatory thing
No,
that.
this is the requirements that we'll have to stick to.
Okay.
Because these are the like minimum requirements. Let us say if user is saying the key should be like 40, I guess it would be 4096. Then we can
Uh-huh.
select that. But this is the minimum that we need to keep.
Okay, okay.
So let me see. It was mentioned somewhere. Pair generation. Yeah. So here we have for key pair generation. RSA would be the algorithm that will be selecting for both signing key and encryption keys. Key size will be 2048 for both signing key and encryption key. And signature digest algorithm would be SHA-512,
Mhm.
right? And then for password, we are using this tool called as KeyPass, where it will generate a random password. So are you aware of this tool,
Yeah,
KeyPass?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a little bit aware of that.
All right. So in KeyPass, we would be generating
I
the
think
password.
uh, we use for storing the password actually this tool.
Okay, so here we are using it to basically generate a random password
Okay.
for password generation, you can say. So it
Can
will
you please
generate a
go
20.
to once the tool?
Yeah, Yeah, here you can click on this option, add entry, and it will let you create a you can give it a title based on whatever key pair you are generating. So let's say if I'm providing the name as encrypt Helion to TechM. So I'll use that same name over here for identifying it later on, easier identification.
Mhm.
And password, you can see whenever you click on add entry, it will automatically have that password created over here. So every time you click on add entry, it will create randomly generate a new password, 20 character password. So this password, we will be using it over there in
Uh-huh.
our tool. We'll be copying it and basically just pasting it over here in both these fields. And store password, we will have to keep it as yes.
Mhm.
Expiration date should be 5 years. 5 years from the date we are generating this key pair.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And we'll click on save, and that will create the key pair.
Okay.
And once the key pair is ready, if you can click on view, you will see all the details related to the same, who has created and when it was created, etc. All the logs will be there over here.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So this was about generating the key pair. Now, how do we share it with the user?
Mhm.
So since it involves private key as well, right? It involves private key as well as public key. Public key can be shared directly via email, chat. That is not an issue since it is a public key. Private
Mhm.
key, we have to share it to the user in a secure way. So for that, we are scheduling a call with the user to connect with
Mhm.
them. And what we are doing is we are uploading this key pair in one of our folders. So let me show you. So we have this folder created as CKS key share for this specific purpose. So what we do is we upload that file, private key,
Mhm.
over here. We export it and we then upload it over here.
Mhm.
And we provide, if the user already has a web user account, then the user will be using the same. If they don't have a web user account for our Go Anywhere tool, we create a web user account for them. And again, let me show you that steps for creating the web user. Right. So we have mentioned that as the first step itself for under this topic, how to create this web user account.
Okay. To need to share.
So like
Uh,
schedule a one-to-one call with the user,
uh,
have the key created in advance, and at the time of call, export the key from the key vault and place it in that key share folder. And the
okay.
user will be logging in using the web user account. Let us have a look at that, how to create the web user account. So if you go under users tab, web users, so here is an option to add the web user.
Mhm.
You will be providing the username over here. Now this can be either the first name, last name, or you can provide the mud ID, or in Helion we call it as mud ID, which is the ID that you
Mhm.
are using to log in.
Yeah.
Correct? We can provide that as well. Under authentication, we would keep it as default so that whatever password they are using to log into, like any systems where AD is coming in, so that would be the same password that they are using. To all else, we can also provide a manual password over here. When we select this option, we can specify a manual password over here. But ideally, we are leaving it to default LDAP option.
Mhm.
Under groups, we will provide this to HTTPS and SFTP. Like we will leave it as it is. This will be the default selections over here. We will leave it as it is. And under folders, so under folders we would be providing permissions to them. So for example, we are uploading that key to that particular folder, right? And we want that user to download it from that particular folder. So we need to provide the permissions to that folder. So we will create some folder, let's say CKS key share. List and download, right? So I just want the user to download the keeper. There is no need to provide the upload permission over here. So we'll provide these two permissions and we will save this. I haven't provided the username, right? Right, so this will create the web user with this name that I have created now over here, right? So this is how the web user is created. Okay. And with this account, so we will be informing the user that we have created the web user for them and they can use it to log into our web user portal. So right now I'm in test. So let me show you one of the portals. Right, so this is the way the user will be logging in and they will be able to see this folder on their end and they would be able to download the keeper.
Okay. So does this have any expiration time? Like this after some time this.
So what we are doing is, as we mentioned, that we need to do it in a secure way, right? So we will ensure that the user is downloading it in the same call. We will have the user do it, and if in case they are facing any issues, if they're not able to understand, we'll have them share the screen, and we can guide them. So once we ensure that they have downloaded it, we need to delete it on the same time, and we can later also delete the web user account that was created for them.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So this is how we securely share the private key.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other part, again going back to the key pair where we had created the key pair, encryption, key management system. Right. So whenever we have created the key pair, we can click on this option and there will be option to export this key pair. So if we export the key pair, both public and private key would be exported, and this would only export the public key. But in this activity, key pair generation and sharing, we will have to share both the public as well as the private key. So we will be
Okay.
exporting the key pair. Right. So we covered this how to create the web user account, and the same is also mentioned over here with details. How do we create the PGP key pair, a new PGP key pair that is mentioned over here with all the details, whatever details we need to enter in the field while creating the same. And how do we share? So basically those details are also mentioned in the initial part of the document. Key pair sharing with the owner. So those details are mentioned over here.
Okay.
And so
Yeah,
any
we will go through the document to have a better understanding. So, like, if you can upload this at the
yeah,
same folder. Yeah.
yes. Any questions if you are having apart from whatever we discussed or anything related to this, any confusions?
No, no, as of now.
So we still have 10 minutes left. So Sugam, what do you suggest? Should we
Uh,
start?
no, we can wrap up early today as that Santosh is not available also, and we'll cover it in tomorrow's session. And also, Jewel also suggested same. Am I right, Jewel?
Yeah. We can continue tomorrow then. So just a request, like if you guys can have that server file exported file over the
Yeah, I wanted to mention about that. So Sugam, so those I think usually is talking about these, right? Go anywhere server access.
Oh, so that this is not in our scope.
yeah
Access
No, I
will
actually
mean,
be provided
I
by
was talking
Helium.
about the connections, all the connection file. If you can export
yeah,
this.
usual. So basically, these also have the passwords configured, and I don't think we can share it as of now because
Okay.
we are still handling the operations, right? And we
So
won't be able
this
to.
functional account are Helion is means for Accenture specific, I guess. So don't know whether this will be the same functional accounts you will be using or they will be newly created. So that we need to confirm. If this is the same configuration, then we can provide you
Uh,
after Lucas approval. Okay.
yeah, sure, please. Yeah, no issue.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, once it is confirmed, usual, I can share it to you later on. Not an issue. Like
Uh,
I got your point that you just want this to be exported, right, and shared it to you so
uh,
that you can import it. I
yeah.
understood it. So once we get the confirmation, like when we can provide this to you, when you can start accessing the Go Anywhere portal. So at that point, I will share it to you.
Yeah, sure. No problem. No rush. So apart from this, like the document that we were looking yesterday, so was that uploaded over that?
Yeah, that was uploaded. You can have a look.
Uh,
Let me
uh,
upload this. I guess I had uploaded it yesterday.
what exactly the name of that document?
This is the one. Certificate renewal activity. Go Anywhere.
Okay, certificate. I'm also opening. Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so this is under PKI. Mm, Oh, certificate.
Renewal activity. Certificate renewal activity hyphen
Okay,
GOA
got it. Yeah,
stands for
got
Go
it. You
Anywhere.
have uploaded this yesterday only.
Yeah.
And have you done any changes in import links? Important links, sorry.
No.
Okay. Actually, I downloaded this file earlier, so uh, that's why. Okay, fine.
Okay. And this one I'll be uploading it today later on,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that you will have this file as well. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Then I guess we can end the call for
Okay.
today.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Thank
everyone.
everyone.
you, Sugam. Thank you, Sachin. Yeah.